Hi, my name is Anthony Bonilla. I'm a freshman here at IU, and I'm here presenting my game for the final project for my E111 class. So to just get started with the game, um, first I decided to choose my topic, which was below the water. And this was just promoting and trying to educate ways to keep our oceans and sea life from pollution, habitat loss, coral destruction, and everything to just keep our ocean safe and protected. And I thought that was something that interested me a lot, and it was something I wanted to be able to create a game and be able to educate these students on something that I believe was a important topic and subject that we should cover. So the game that me and Copilot um, have made was a game that is based on the player or the students and the user being a ocean guardian and exploring these different habitats in the ocean, trying to conquer them and learn more about them as a little memorization game, but also like a trivial game to kind of keep their mind refreshed and learn about everything in these habitats and what they're about. So to get started, I started off with a little intro to the game, a little storyline to kind of grab the students' attention. I know with these elementary school students, they can have a low attention span, so anything to make sure they know what they're doing and what their goal is. So, as you can see here, I do have a little description, again, storyline, and then I go into instructions for the students so they know what they're doing. And then I go into these five options, and these five options start off with option one, which is start the game, where um, self-explanatory. You start the game, and then you're gonna enter your name, and then it's gonna give you a little dialogue as the ocean explorer that you are, and it's gonna instantly put you into the habitat that you're exploring. Um, and then that's where you'll go through the different levels and different questions to learn and figure out more about these habitats and these animals and all these creatures to better educate yourself about um, life below the water. And then second option is log game. This is obviously if you've already played already, you log in to the same user player name that you had. It tells you your score from the previous time you played. And then it loads you right back to level one where it starts generating the questions again. So you can keep practicing and learning more and educating yourself more on the ocean life. And then option three is the view scores. It'll show you all the players' names with their scores, and this is great because I believe this brings a competitive aspect to it, and also the multiplayer aspect to where these are elementary school students, so they have a lot of energy. I believe competitiveness is a great thing for these students to kind of keep them engaged in the game. So they'll be able to see, compare scores, and see and try their best to obviously get ahead of another student. My fourth option, I decided to add achievements to the game. This is kind of similar to the competitiveness, where these students are able to view these achievements that they earn throughout the game, see which ones they still need to get, and which ones they have over their friends. So that's the fourth option to be able to view that. And then option five is just the exit the game. So to get started into the game, um, choose option one, and then it's going to ask you to enter your name. So I'm going to enter Anthony. And then it instantly puts you into level one. So it's going to ask you these questions. They're randomly generated. So if I were to load back in, it's not going to ask me the same question. Like it's not going to ask this question for the first question. So yes, it's a memorization game, but it's not going to have these students just like if they know the answer, they're just going to keep putting it every time they load it back in. It's going to ask them something else. So I have played this a lot since I've tested it. So let's see how good I am. I know this for sure is an octopus. And then, as you can see here, it says correct, and then it moves you on and you earn your points. This, I believe, is a rockfish. And then, yeah. So, um, when you get it right, it just tells you correct, and then you earn the points. It won't tell you there's an option I could have added. Um, but we're gonna go through this if I were to get something wrong, it's going to tell you incorrect, and then it's going to tell you the correct answer and then give you an explanation about it. So then if I get this one wrong, it's going to do the same thing. And after those four questions, I'm moving on to the next level. And then it gives you another brief dialogue. It's going to say something different every time. But like this one, it says, you made it through the kelp forest. Great work. Next on is the coral reefs. And then I'm just going to fly through this again, getting them wrong. It's going to do the same thing. If you were to get it correct, it's going to say the correct answer, or it's going to say correct, and you just move on to the next question. Um, and like I said, these are going to be randomly generated. So once you load back into the game, it's not going to ask you these same questions in exact order. Um, and again, there's the dialogue to move on to the next ocean habitat. And then moving on with level three, I decided to add like a little brain bake or like a little mini game. I kind of briefly explained this in my ethics paper, but so I did like a shark attack or a shark encounter to kind of again have the students have like a little brain bake. But the one issue that I ended up noticing was the whole point of this topic, and goal is to educate these students about protecting the ocean environment and these ocean creatures. And one of the options I have is to kill the shark. So that was obviously an issue that I noticed with the ethics. How I do have it though is it's three options. We're gonna pick the third one because it's the best one, and I'll explain that later. But the first option is says to kill the shark. Obviously, that's not something I want to promote. So now for the future, I know that's not something I would want to add if I do a topic like this or a topic that can be as sensitive as this. Um, but what it would be is if I chose option one, it'll say a statement that was saying that it was bad and like you shouldn't kill the shark, and then it'll deduct 10 points from your score. Option two is run away. It'll just say like who you ran away, you're safe. It won't deduct or add any points to your score. And then if we choose option three, it's gonna say you tamed the shark plus 20 points, and then it's gonna say level three was the deep sea that you conquered, and now we're moving to the mangrove swamps. So once again, we're gonna go through these real quick, and then it's gonna say your mission is complete, your final score is this, and then if we go back into the game and then click load game, it's gonna say welcome back, Ocean Explorer Anthony. Let's get started. And then the reason it just instantly put me in is obviously because there's only been one player. If you were to add another player when you click start game, then you'll have to type in your name and then it'll log you back in. So we're gonna quickly get through this real quick. I'm gonna do the kill feature just for this one time. And that is my game. Again, there's achievements that you can get. I know for sure there's an achievement for taming the shark. There's achievements for getting every single answer right, and a lot of more achievements were generated with Copilot, and I chose which ones fit the game the best and would bring more interest. So we're gonna now check out the code for my game. At the bottom. So there's a lot. I wanted to try to implement a lot of like mini games and features, and obviously that's just a big issue that I couldn't do. Um, but obviously starting off with the structs, and then these are labeled by Copilot. I asked it to label just like every big chunk of code. So you have the prototypes, you have the story, instructions, main menu, and then you have all the logic and questions that are randomly generated, achievements, level transitions, the shark encounter that I added later in development, and then all like the files and everything regarding the save progress and the scores. So one thing I did not add, which I noticed later when I was doing my reflections, I didn't add anything with Malik or Alec, anything regarding that. It was just something that slipped my mind. So um, I took responsibility for that and give myself credit. But that's my game. Thank you for watching.